Chapter 5. Things Get Worser. Did you guys just see that? Cried Mr. Melvin. Krabby the kid just flew out the window. He flew! Yeah, we know, said George with a sigh. That's amazing, cried Mr. Melvin. She must think he's Captain Underpants or something. Or could it be? Could our principal really be Captain Underpants? Well, duh, said Harold. But Mr. Krupp doesn't look anything like Captain Underpants, said Mr. Melvin frantically. Captain Underpants is bald, and Mr. Krupp usually has hair. Hey, I know, maybe Mr. Krupp wears a toupee. I thought you were supposed to be in the gifted program, said George. But how can he fly? Where did he get his superpowers? Asked Mr. Melvin. It's a long story, said Harold. Mr. Melvin calmed down a bit, walked confidently across the room, and sat in the principal's chair. He leaned back and smiled a devilish grin. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell me all about it, said Mr. Melvin. I've got all the time in the world. Chapter 6. Things Get Worserest. George and Harold had no choice but to come clean. They told Mr. Melvin the whole story of Captain Underpants, of how they had hypnotized Mr. Krupp, how he drank the alien superpower juice, and how his superpowers must have somehow gone transferred into Melvin's body along with Mr. Krupp's brain. While George and Harold were talking, the smile on Mr. Melvin's face grew wider and wider, and eviler and eviler. What are you smiling about? Said George. This is serious. Yeah, said Harold. We're all in big trouble if we don't switch things back to normal. Correction, said Mr. Melvin. You guys are in big trouble. All my troubles are over. I, Melvin Sneedly, am gonna get back into my old body, but keep those superpowers for myself. I'm gonna become the world's first superpowered kid. Hey, you can't do that, said Harold. I can do whatever I want, snapped Mr. Melvin. I'm in charge now. I look just like the principal. So I'm gonna make the rules and you guys are gonna follow them. Or else what? George demanded. Or else, snarled Mr. Melvin. I'll order your teachers to give you guys 12 hours of homework every night for the next 8 years. That shut George and Harold up. Mr. Melvin's first order of the day was for George and Harold to make a new comic book about the world's first superpowered kid, Melvin Sneedly. Give me a really cool name, said Mr. Melvin, like Big Melvin or Mystery Melvin. Mystery Melvin? Said George and Harold in disbelief. And make up a story where I defeat Captain Underpants and become the world's greatest superhero. And you better not make me look stupid either, Mr. Melvin shouted. But we can't make a comic book right now, cried Harold. We've got to chase after Captain Cruppy the Underpants kid. You can chase after him all you want, said Mr. Melvin. After you make that comic book. Now get going! I've got a time machine to build. Chapter 7. The Purple Potty. Mr. Melvin went out and bought all the things he needed to build his time machine. Now he just needed a place to build it. He wanted someplace quiet and private, someplace empty and secluded, a room that nobody ever used. I've got it! He cried. Our school library. The library at Jerome Hort's Elementary School had once been a wonderful place of knowledge and learning. But a few years back, the librarian, Miss Singerbrains, had begun banning most of the books. Now the library was filled only with rows of empty bookshelves and posters that warned of the potential subversive dangers of reading. It was the perfect place to hatch an evil plan. Mr. Melvin pushed his cart into the dusty, cobwebby room and flicked on the lights. Welcome, sir, said Miss Singerbrains. Have you come to check out the book? No, said Mr. Melvin. I need to find a large box, like a phone booth or something. There's a purple portable potty down in the basement, said Miss Singerbrains. That'll do, Mr. Melvin said. Go get it for me. I can't carry that thing up 3 flights of stairs all by myself, cried Miss Singerbrains. All right, said Mr. Melvin. I'll help you. Mr. Melvin supervised while Miss Singerbrains carried a heavy potty to the top of the treacherous steps. Good job, said Mr. Melvin. Now go clean out your desk. You're fired. Fired? Cried Miss Singerbrains. What for? For the rest of your life, said Mr. Melvin. Chapter 8. Meanwhile, back in outer space, a team of scientists working at the Pequot Order of Professional Space and Interplanetary Explorers, Poopsie, were on their way to investigate the planet Uranus when they came across something that was very strange. Major Buzz Tomski and his crew had just discovered a bizarre cluster of what appeared to be robots and toilets resting on the planet's surface. The astronauts were so busy looking at their monitor that they didn't notice the three slimy, squishy, boogery thingies speeding toward the spaceship. Splat, smack, sploot. Chapter 9. Ground Control to Major Tomski. Suddenly, a very concerned voice came across the Poopsie space phone. What's going on up there, Bob? Asked Ground Control. We're okay, said Major Tomski as he unzipped the cockpit's window screen for a better look. But it appears our ship has just been splattered by three unidentified squishy objects. That does it, said Ground Control. This mission is just getting too strange. I want you guys to turn that ship around and come on back home. Will do, said Major Tomski. He pushed in the clutch, made a U-turn, and in no time at all, the Poopsie shuttle was headed back to Earth with three giggling stowaways hanging on for the long ride home.